atmosphere, and that's what we did for them. If you want, I can show you more pictures after. And think about people who are waiting for escape room, because in Russia sometimes people were coming an hour ahead and they were leaving an hour after because they had like some coffees. Somebody was putting a PlayStation with a screen so they could play some video games. We used to build huge tables for corporate events or for birthday parties, for people to spend more time and playing more games with us. For example, if there is a small company with 20 people and they want to spend some time together as a team building, they need a space or they need like some drinks or food, and this one will perfectly fit for them. Wiring is also really important. Of course, for your room to be vandal-proof, you need to hide the wires for them not to be reachable for the players, because some players, and it's not a secret for all of you, like to damage stuff, like to unplug, for example, the wires or unscrew something on the top. And it doesn't matter for them if you told them before you're not supposed to do it, they will still do it. They will try to break stuff. So, and it's not a secret for you, make a vandal-proof game as much as it's possible. And of course, the electrics should be vandal-proof as well. Employees are really important. I can tell you why. And I guess you know why. It's a different kind of immersion as well. So imagine the situation when you're a team, you came to play escape room. So the game master welcomes you and tells you some story, doing like, okay, the magic school was like, the Voldemort came back and you want to kill him. It's boring, isn't it? And you're not even listening to him. And there are different examples when your game master is dressed like a magician, for example, and he's acting like a good actor, and he, yeah, I cannot show it to you, I'm sorry. So he's acting and like he's immersion, погружает, I forgot the word. So he let you feel the game before you even enter the game. We were in Prague like 3 days ago and we played the Chambers escape room, and the game master was dressed like a prisoner and he cuffed us and he did a huge presentation before he let us inside, and we felt this game, we loved this game. Also because of the game master. So this is a huge plus for you if you will teach your game masters to interact with the customers. Oh, advertisement is a huge topic. If you want to find out, we did a huge survey with our clients that are all over the world. And we asked them to answer the survey on a lot of questions, and we did a webinar based on this survey about promotion. We're giving you the examples about what kind of elements, what kind of tools we use, so you can watch it, it's free. Just ask for the link or type on the website. It's a huge topic, I cannot talk about it, and it's really important as well. So, if you're interested, please, there are so many examples which we personally used, and competition in Moscow was huge, so you can check it out and you will find something interesting you can use here, because you're getting to this level of market soon. Not everybody, but people asking me about franchise. Should we use it or should we not use it, doing your own brand? And honestly, it's hard to answer one way, because there are some advantages that gives you the franchising and some disadvantages as well. So you should think, if you want to open 1 or 2 escape rooms, and you don't need to open your website, you don't need to do promotion, you don't need to fight with your competitors, you just you're just buying a franchise, paying them royalty and work. But of course you're supposed to choose a good franchise. I'm not talking about some guy who said, oh, I'm gonna sell franchise, let's do it. But it's supposed to be a huge company that already had a successful story, maybe not even in your city like Claustrophobia did, but they also did some mistakes. I hope Sergey is not here. So there are advantages, there are disadvantages. Here are you can find them out, but obviously if you buy franchise, it's your aim to ask information, to ask some tools from them, because they will say, okay, you paid us money, we were interested in you, but in some time they will forget about you. Like, that's the honest, the most honest answer you will hear ever about franchise. But we can see the examples, for example, of claustrophobia as well, when St. Petersburg branch just disappeared. They had like 40 rooms and now they have like 10 or 15 rooms there. And we can also discuss about it for a long time, but still, that's the example that already happened. Okay, the script writing, the scenario for escape room is one of the most important parts, because basically it's the soul of your game. And I can tell you, and I want to ask you, don't pick a theme based on your wants, because you're doing escape room not for yourself, but for the customers. Think about what they would love to play, what they want, not yourself, because people are coming and saying, I like to play Resident Evil game on computer, so I want to build a Resident Evil room in Moscow, for example. And Moscow market now is a family-based market, so we are not opening scary rooms anymore, even with actors, because there are so many of them, and most of them are cheap, boring, and they just scare you out of the corner, and that's it. And why I'm saying this, so he came to me, he said, I want a scary room without no actor, I have a low budget, but I like this topic. I said, who are you targeting? He said, we're in the city center next to the university, so a lot of students will come. I said, okay, you will get your students from university, but what about the rest? What about like the whole 18 million city that is here waiting for a new escape room? So he changed his mind, he opened a family room, and I'm glad, because that's what you should think about it. So, writing it yourself or ordering it, as I told you, it depends on a lot of factors. Maybe you're a professional writer of the book or a script writer of a movie, so then, yes, you can try to make a good script yourself. But there are so many small things that you should think about it, and you will never know, will this puzzle, for example, work with the customers or not. So at least talk to a professional. The script writing, that's general costs from $500 to $1,000 per script. It's variable in the whole world, but that's the general price for it. Not in our company, I mean in general. Yeah, so about the first wave of escape rooms and the second wave of escape rooms and the topics of it. So 60% of first generation rooms are concentrated with these topics. So it's hospitals, morgues, prisons, hotels, motels, rooms, and something you can cheaply do. So you don't need some decorations for the prison or for morgue. You can buy them somewhere and make it look like it. But if you're building some magic school, of course, it's totally different question. So the second wave of escape rooms is escape rooms based on films, movies, games, or some well-known events. And that's what makes customers want to come. Because if they hear some, I don't know, prison room were open, or they will hear some Jumanji room is opening, and you know, in December the Jumanji 2 is coming on the screens, so guess where they will go? Of course, to something famous. Yes, about the script, will it be popular? Of course, you will never know it for sure, but you can predict that based on some information, the script will be popular. It's called past analysis, where you analyze the situation in your city, in your area, how political issues, economical issues, technological, social, what is popular now, what will be popular like in half a year when we will open escape room. Analyze it and think what room will be popular. And don't, I'm asking you, don't aim only your thoughts in it. Ask your friends, make a survey. If you have escape rooms, you should have customers. You can ask your customers. You can make it as some kind of promotion as well. For example, fill the survey and get 10% discount for the next room. And you will collect the information. More people you will ask, better information it will be, so more successful your escape room will be, basically. And it won't be a surprise that if escape room is made after some famous movie, it will have some anchors. Anchors are elements from the movie, like Mandragores or like Blaster from Star Wars, something that is common for a lot of people, and if they will see this element in escape rooms, they will be glad or raised, because, oh, I always wanted to hold this laser sword to play with it, and here it is, you're immersed in this topic. And of course, what is really important for you as an owner is to get a good feedback on TripAdvisor, and Facebook, wherever it is, but with anchors, you get them, because you will hit the point of the customer's will. About promotion and about like picking the topic for escape rooms, how we do it, how I'm doing it. For example, there is a group in Facebook. It's called Escape Room Enthusiasts, where a lot of professional or non-professional players are sitting, chatting, or telling bullshit sometimes. We did a survey. What kind of topic you want for our new escape room to be? I told you, we're gonna build it when we'll do the survey. So about 300, maybe 400 people answered, and we picked Alice in Wonderland movie topic, and of course we watched this movie, the latest one, and we created a new room based on Alice in Wonderland. It's pretty new. If you want, I can also share some pictures afterwards, not in this presentation, but you will see the reaction of the people, because they were waiting for it. They wanted to see how we did it, and up to me, we did a great job doing it. So if you will be interested, I can show it to you after. and you can tell me if we succeeded creating this family type room, Alice in Wonderland, inspired by Alice in Wonderland. So mistakes. Of course, there are always some mistakes that you should avoid. The first one I already told you. Don't pick a topic based on your interests. Ask people what they want. That's what we did with Alice, for example. Because I personally didn't like this movie, but if the majority wanted, please, you're welcome. So some contexts, escape rooms. I'm trying to figure out the example. For example, in London there was a terrorist attack, like, I don't know, 2 months ago. So it would be a bad idea to open some terrorist or escape room, because a lot of people were injured, a lot of people suffered, and now you're opening escape room when you're supposed to be a terrorist. That's a bad idea. Don't do it. Like, it's a general sense. So intellectual property is important, of course, but in different countries it's totally different, so you're supposed to know it by yourself. I'm writing the scripts myself, and there are some rules that I can share with you. Not rules for the script, but rules for escape room as it is. And it's not like must rules. Of course, there are some variations about it. For example, a good escape room has to be more than 2 rooms, or like 2, 3, 4. Why it is? Because people like to progress, like to move from one room to another room, maybe to another room. And if you have only one room, it will be kind of boring one. But vice versa, we have the cube games for the malls, and it's basically 9 square meters, and it can be an hour game. So this is a different example. But in general, the more, like, you have to have more than one room in your escape room, because people like to find themselves in different environments. So there are 2 types of linear and unlinear escape rooms. So basically, linear is step-by-step game. When you solve the puzzle, you get the hint to the next one, you solve it and go step by step. Sometimes it's good and people are asking for such games, but for example, I don't know if you know, in USA they let up to 12 people that don't know each other, and it's like a general practice in USA. So for them it won't be a good example, because imagine some guy will do the puzzle and the rest 11 people will look at him. Bad idea. So parallel puzzles, when you can do this puzzle with this guy and another puzzle in parallel with another guy. When you're doing a script, you're supposed to think as a player. When you're writing a script, what would player want to do, what he wants to be incorporated with. So think about the players as much as you can. Of course, you should think about damaging escape rooms, because some players are vandals, especially kids. When you let them in, they can destroy anything. Once we had a maglock on the door, and we couldn't unscrew it with the screwdriver, and some guy did it with a hand. Imagine, like, I don't know how he managed to do it, but it's like the example how players can damage an escape room. And of course, unplugging wires and like taking out decorations out of the wall. So think about it as well. And of course, your riddles has to be different. Don't make 1000 padlocks and that's it. It has to be a logical not illogical, but logical puzzle, cooperation puzzle, for example. There is a wall, there is a labyrinth, and one guy from this side, one guy from this side, he's helping you to solve the labyrinth. That's like the fastest example I can made of some physical activity. So different ones, don't make them bored with the several same puzzles. So the texts in escape rooms. I personally hate to read some paper hints, hate to, sometimes it's a whole book you need to read to get some idea what you have to do. So less text you use, up to me, better it is. What is a wow factor? Wow factor is honestly the central puzzle in your game which you're supposed to use as a future anchor for your customers to tell their friends about it. And their friends has to be surprised and wanted to see it. So it's your best marketing tool to interact people. If there is something exciting in escape room, I don't know, for example, a falling ceiling or a moving wall, or I don't know, moving puzzles or moving chests, like a lot of examples, smoke machines, some light effects, that's what customers will tell their friends and they will come to you 100% if it was like a wow effect. And a good hint for you, this wow effect has to be seen by all the team. So it can be in a separate room, the end of escape room, all players are together and it's happening. So it's what's supposed to be. How to calculate the time-consuming puzzles? I mean, how many puzzles supposed to be for 1 hour game? So usually it's 2-3 minutes per puzzle. So if you want a 60 minutes game, it's supposed to be around 15 puzzles. Of course it depends, but in general, for you, when you're doing a script, think about it, 15 is a normal quantity of the puzzles. Sales system, of course, it's really important, and it's a huge topic that we cannot do it here and now because we have only 1 hour. But what are the main steps? Think about your target auditory. Who are you targeting with your escape room? Is it students, families, kids, corporate clients? So you identify your auditory and you should target it with your marketing tools. What is USP? USP is unique sales proposition. I will talk about it later, yes. So let's talk about audience. When you're figuring out your audience, you should answer these questions and you should understand who they are by obviously answering these questions. What is unique sales proposition? It's a tricky question. If you want to understand my explanation, you should Google it. But it's kind of important for you to make it. So unique. What is unique about your escape room? You should tell it. But uniqueness of your escape room cannot be our game is the best. It's a bad uniqueness because everyone can tell about their escape room, it's the best. So it's supposed to be its most decorated one, or the hardest one, or the oldest one. Something that will trigger other customers as well. So selling, basically you're selling your escape room, so you need to tell them why they should buy it. And offer, of course, the way you offer is, okay, we need to hurry up because I guess you will have some questions as well. So offers, what you're offering to your target auditory. Location, so we talked about it a little earlier. It's really important, and that's the survey numbers. Where are the escape rooms, like all over the world? We asked around 200 companies all over the world. There was no Polish ones, unfortunately, because it was a huge surprise. You have so many escape rooms, and good job, but make them better quality and move to the next level. And you're getting to it, because I saw some escape rooms, like the oldest ones and the ones that are building, and it's a huge difference. That's also the questionnaire of our survey. So if you will be interested in it, ask us, we will send you all elements, all questions and all answers of it. This is an example of appearance of escape room places that is really also important. The more, so example, you can have a look how it looks here, how it looks there. So where do you want to go? Obviously, to the left one. So pictures, also very important, and I can talk about it for like another hour, but here is example. What kind of a picture you can see here, and what kind of picture you can have a look. So of course, the better picture you have, the better memories they will have. They will share it on Facebook or whatever they share the pictures on Instagram. And imagine if you will share this picture and that picture, where you want to go? To that one. Obviously, this is Magic Street in Moscow. We have this room. So try, where do you do pictures? Inside of escape room or outside in the waiting area? My advice to you, don't be afraid to show some elements inside of your escape room, even that it's supposed to be like good decorated, not like a boring wall with, you know, with a padlock. It's pretty boring, but if you have a good decorated room, make pictures of your customers inside. Don't show puzzles or some elements you don't want to show, but pick a wall and make pictures inside. It will give you more and more customers with such good pictures. And of course, what is the best way to get new customers? Is your old satisfied customers to share the information about their experience. So they are most convincing ones, they can share it with their friends, and it's the cheapest way to get to your new customers with the old ones. How you can do it, we can also talk about it for a long time, but you can just ask them to share it with their friends. So mistakes, how much time do we have?
We have 12 minutes.
Okay, we'll make it. So what kind of mistakes there are? One example, there was a room in St. Petersburg, and I saw advertisement of this escape room when I was in Vladivostok. And it's 6,000 kilometers away, so when you're doing your promotion, tag the geographically circle around you, don't promote it to everyone. One of the biggest mistakes is when you're not collecting data about your campaign. So if you're doing some advertisement, check if it's working good or working bad, or how many customers it gives you. Without information, you have no idea. You're just spending money on it. Budgeting, this is a rough example how to budget your escape room business when you are planning to do it. The figures can vary dramatically from town to town, from country to country. That's just a rough example. check the left side, what you have to measure, but the figures you will find out yourself. So, what is important? The escape room should pay off in like half a year, in a year. If it's paying off like in 2 years, it's not that successful. Think why it's happening and change it. So, thank you. It was really fast, but I can talk about escape rooms for a long time, because I started it from the very beginning of the Russian industry. Before that I was playing City Quest for 5 years. Now I'm building rooms, creating rooms, so I'm into that with whole my soul. And if you have any questions I can answer now, you're free to ask. If not, you can text it, type it on Facebook, wherever. I will be glad to answer.
Moi drodzy, mamy 8 minut do kolejnej prelekcji, więc jeśli ktoś ma pytanie, to teraz bardzo proszę. Jeśli chce coś zadać Aleksandrowi, to teraz jest okazja.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Bart. I wanted to ask you, what's the price of single escape room entry in Moscow?
So it depends on the date. So from Monday to Thursday it's one price, it's around 30 euro. From 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. This is the price. From 4 p.m. till the evening, when the jobs are ending, it's 10 euros more. And on Friday till Sunday it's 20 euros even more. So it's around 50, 70 euros per team. 1 hour game.
Есть еще вопрос? Спроси, не жди.
Hi, I have a question. Actually, 2 questions. One might be too personal, so don't answer it, please, if it's too personal. The first question is, why did you personally stop being an escape room owner? If it's too personal, please don't answer it.
Okay.
And the other thing is, what do you think is the future of escape rooms in a market as developed as the Moscow market is?
That's a question everybody's keep on asking. So, why I stopped owning escape rooms? Because owning an escape room, it's like carrying a baby. You need to look after it every day, every hour. You need to look after your people, after puzzles, after rooms. And I don't have time to build rooms and to own rooms. That's why I cut half, and it's more interesting to develop rooms, because every month we are producing up to 7 rooms, and it's like, you know, really exciting to test it, to see how the product become from like a 3D or from a brick to some product, and it's more exciting. Of course, I would love to own escape rooms for now as well, but it takes so many time, and if you're an owner, you should understand it. So the future of escape rooms, of course, it's different for every city, every country. If we're talking about Russian market, and I guess it's one of the leading markets for escape rooms now. The low budget rooms, most of them are closed now, and they were closed within half of the year, most of them. Some good rooms in small companies became a part of the big ones, so they don't need to spend a lot of money on advertisement, because advertisement became really, really expensive now in Russia. And I personally think that the rooms in Russia or all over the world will be kind of immersion. You will feel yourself in some different environment with a good game flow, with your friends playing with you, and that's what it will be for like next 5-10 years maybe. And it won't be like virtual reality rooms or like, I can, if we have time, I can tell you what kind of new generation rooms we have in Moscow. It's 2,000 square feet factory that was rebuilt in a topic of fallout. So it's after a nuclear attack city where you're supposed to play, to interact with 15 actors. It's 2 hours game. They give you some tasks you have to accomplish. They give you points. You can spend these points. It's like an arcade game. And now, as I know, they are trying to get people back again to play different scenarios and stuff like this. So this is kind of new generation of a huge escape room. Of course, it's a bad example for a normal escape room, but still, this is kind of a new generation room that is happening now.
So I have a question here. Hello. So how long it takes from the idea to the final product when you can take the people inside?
Excuse me?
You have an idea of an escape room, yeah, and the final product, how long it takes from the idea to the...
It depends if you're doing it yourself or you're ordering, for example, from us. So I know some companies are building rooms here for a year and it's half ready. So it honestly depends on you. If you're talking about us, we are producing up to 7 rooms per month. So how long it will take you to install it? One day if you prepare the place. For example, the Maya room that is here for the finals, we did it within 2 hours, and the organizers prepared the cube within 1 day. So it depends on millions of factors. If you're talking about script writing, for example, it takes around 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depends on the feedback from the client. So a lot of factors, a lot of different situations.
Well, hello again, Sergey. Thank you for mentioning the chamber.
Aleksander.
Alexander. Yeah, sorry, I thought about Sergey because I wanted to tell that
Sergey, you cuffed him on
yes.
the table.
Yeah, that was him, really.
Yeah.
I didn't know. It's good to know. Sorry, that's a byproduct because we met in Prague a few days ago. Well, my question is connected to the speech of you both, because you were talking about competition, about beating the competition. And I don't know if it's only the Russian market or if it's applicable all over the world. But I think that since all of the games, or most of the games, can be played just once, there is a certain possibility of sharing the customers, of cooperation between escape games. I would like to know your opinion about this way of cooperation.
I can tell you about it. You can talk about cooperation when you have not a lot of rooms in your city. When you will have 800 rooms, you won't talk about cooperation anymore. For now, your market is in that stage when you have, like, how many good games do you have in Prague? 20?
Yeah, 50, 20.
So when you will have 100 of those, you won't talk cooperation anymore. We had the same one in Russia when small companies advertise each other inside of their friendship circle. But after some point, when there were so many games, they stopped doing it. So at some point, it's a good example to cooperate between each other when you have a good game and they have a good game. But you won't work like this when they have a shitty game and you have a good one. So players from your will come to there and what they will feel. And vice versa. If they have two bad games and you have a good one, they will come to you and they won't return to them.
Dziękujemy pięknie. Jeszcze raz gorące brawa Aleksander. How to create a successful escape room. Thank you very much. To był nasz kolejny prelegent. Czas na kolejną